Welcome to the collection of the wildest and craziest AITA Reddit stories of all time. From wild betrayals to shocking twists, these tales will leave you questioning who is really in the wrong. Let's dive in together. The first story for this collection is from Tricky-Librarian-872. AITA for confronting my boyfriend because he shares bed with her sister and responded to her sister with, "Thanks love. My 31F, new BF, 27M. I've been with just 1 week has casually mentioned that when his older sisters come to visit, they usually sleep in his bed with him. He is the youngest of all his siblings and he comes from very tight closed-knit family. This seemed a little weird to me, but it got even weirder to the 9th degree when on a trip to the woods where they rented a cabin, him and all his siblings including his 2 older sisters, and the sisters all slept in the same bed with him. There weren't enough rooms for all of them and let alone enough beds. This wasn't limited to just nighttime. When they also take naps, they will also share the same bed. I finally asked him if he sleeps with his sisters constantly in the same bed. I could tell the question made him a little uncomfortable, but to be honest, I'm very uncomfortable. This all started, if I have to be honest, from when he showed me a text message between them. In the text message, she addresses her brother followed by this emoji. He responds to her text message with, "Thanks love." Keep in mind, he's not British, he is American, and he does not normally use that kind of vocabulary to address someone. So, to me, calling your sister love is a little odd. And then this whole sleeping with your sister in bed, it's just amplified everything. OP is not the AH. It's reasonable to feel uncomfortable about her boyfriend frequently sharing a bed with his sisters and using intimate language. She asked a valid question without accusations, seeking clarity on a dynamic that feels unusual to her. Let's now jump on to the next story from Crap Kid Throwaway. AITA, my husband is better than my BF's husband. I am traveling for work. Kate is stuck at home, working, at 7 months pregnant on modified bed rest. Generally during the week, I drop over once or twice to bring her family some dinner. Tim cooks extra portions once a week to share. Cheer her up, read her oldest a couple of bedtime stories so that mom can go to bed early and get some sleep. Bert works an office job. Stressful, I'm sure, but during her pregnancy he's been working longer and longer hours, salaried, not overtime. She's been sad and a bit lonely. Yes, I've suggested counseling. With that for background, this evening she and I were texting. It was about 6-ish, and she got a craving for a taco place near my house and, importantly, near Bert's office. She says she asked him to grab her some on his way home. He says he's not stopping. He's got work at home and she should just DoorDash something close. This makes her extremely sad, she's saying irrationally sad, but you be the judge. Because he used to surprise her with her favorite tacos and now, he can't be bothered. As one does, I tell Tim. I'm 3 states away, so it was just part of our chat as I was getting back to the hotel and getting ready for a work dinner. I get back from dinner and Tim had gone and picked her up tacos, remembered the bag of things I'd collected for her and the kid that were in my car, and pulled a tuna casserole from the freezer. Bert hates tuna casserole. He dropped them off on the porch and just texted her that there were some things I wanted her to have. Then Bert gets home. Did he bring tacos, coloring books, or a good attitude? No, he did not. He called Tim to tell him that he was an asshole for showing him up. Other colorful language was also used, including some fairly sexist nonsense. He also texted me telling me to keep my husband away from his wife. Tim did respond rudely when Bert called. Kate says he told Bert he was a failure as a human, a man, a father and a husband. Apparently, that caused Bert to scream expletives so loud their daughter started to cry. Not good. Tim then hung up on Bert, blocked him, and texted Kate that if she needed someone in an emergency she knew where to call, but he wasn't putting up with her shit husband any longer. It's a giant cluster and I have no idea what's going to happen. My husband feels bad things escalated so much, particularly since their daughter was crying. He feels like an asshole at the moment. Obviously, Bert thinks he's an asshole. I think he's a sweet man. What do you guys think? Update. I apologize for screwing up the title last time. I was trying to be brief and wound up being wildly disappointing. My apologies. Hopefully this is more effective. This update is shared with Kate and Tim's permission. For reasons, Bert can go f*** himself. Bert did email Tim this morning to apologize. Bert said he had forgotten I was out of town, and he didn't realize that Tim was dropping off the meal train food. It was a weird email for many reasons, but Tim responded politely if non-committal. Tim hasn't changed his view of Bert in part because of what happened between Bert and Kate this afternoon. Bert also texted me to apologize, but I didn't get his message until after I landed, and by then everything else had happened. I've elected not to respond. Bert went home around noon after staying at a hotel last night. Kate's sister had taken their daughter to the park so Bert and Kate could talk it out. Short version is that Bert has been avoiding Kate because she's not happy during this pregnancy. I mentioned in a comment that Kate had been married previously, and shortly after her first husband died, she had complications in a pregnancy that forced her on bed rest. Unfortunately, her son didn't make it. Her current pregnancy is bringing up a lot of painful memories, and she's scared she won't be able to make it to full term. So, yes, she's not as cheery as she was when she was pregnant with their daughter. It's a difficult time. Bert is frustrated and angry that she's not happy, so he's been staying late and ignoring her until she stops doing that. I know that sounds horrid, but I think they could have worked through those feelings. But as he was explaining how he felt, he said she should be glad her son wasn't there because otherwise she wouldn't have this life at all. Yeah. That still knocks the wind out of me. It's so cruel. She did talk to him about that statement, but the explanation doesn't get better. In any event, for her that was just the end. She told him she was done, they can work out joint custody, but the marriage was over. She called her sister and she and her husband encouraged Bert to leave. Currently, Kate's not angry or sad or panicked. She's just done. Personally, I'm surprised since they've weathered some fairly things including infidelity by him. But I guess that was the line. In any event, her D&D friends are over there for Saturday games night and they are eating waffles. She thought it was important for the internet to know that waffles are appropriate separation food. In terms of her well-being, which many kind souls were worried about, they have a prenup. The house is hers, his family property is his. I'm sure there will be a fight over custody, but she will be financially okay. In any event, she has family and friends who will help and support regardless of what happens. Update. Holiday update. I guess whether you think this is a happy update depends on whether assholes abandoning their kids is a net positive or not. Kate and Bert are still separated. It took her a few weeks, but she finally spoke to her attorney and asked them to start the paperwork. One problem has been locating him for service and scheduling parenting time so it wouldn't appear that she is withholding his child. The night he was escorted out, he apparently went to a hotel, then told his boss he had to work remotely. Where the f*** was that option? And then moved home to his mother. Kate has reached out to him multiple times to schedule parenting time and only found out last week that he wasn't in the state. She finally called his mom to see if she wanted to come and see her grandchild for Thanksgiving and learned that he was there the entire time. In any event, they finally made a parenting schedule and, at her attorney's suggestion, agreed he could have the first holiday since the separation. He was supposed to come down on Wednesday and pick up their daughter for a few days so she could spend time with his side of the family. So, we planned a Friendsgiving to keep her spirits up since her little one would be away for the first time. Fun. Not fun, but it's what families do. Anyway, he didn't show. Thursday morning, still no Bert. Kate was worried since he was supposed to drive down, so she called his mom again. Bert was fine, but didn't feel up to dealing with this. Yup. Heard it myself with my own 2 ears. Kiddo was thankfully still asleep, so she did have the joy of watching her mom have a complete and utterly meltdown. Kate didn't have the greatest childhood herself, and knowing her poor husband was completely indifferent to his daughter was just too much. She was sobbing so hard she couldn't breathe and then started to have contractions. Then her sister and I started panicking. Had we been thinking clearly, we probably would have remembered that she had BH with both pregnancies and calmly assessed the situation after she wasn't so overwrought. Instead, I panic-dialed her OB and we rushed her to the hospital. She's fine. Baby is fine. Kiddo has now more screen time and junk food in 2 days than her mother has let her have in her entire life, because I am not a great babysitter. Kate will be in the hospital for a few more days as her OB is concerned with her stress levels. Her sister's husband called Bert, but thus far he has not made any attempts to do something useful, like I don't know, take care of his own child. So, I guess there won't be a fight over custody? Weekend. If anyone knows how to cheer up a little girl who is missing her parents that doesn't involve McDonald's and Bluey, please let me know. If there were still Toys R Us, I'd probably be bankrupt. Update. Thank you all for the suggestions, particularly you/Mama Cass for shaking my brain loose. I had a sewing room full of supplies and hadn't even thought of crafts. We spent all day today designing and making doll clothes and matching scrunchies for her, her mom, her aunt, uncle, cousin, etc. She's happy and tired, and I couldn't be more grateful for internet strangers. On the less good news, Kate is going to be in the hospital for the duration. She and the baby are fine, but due to some complications they want her to stay there until she delivers. Kiddo is staying with us until tomorrow. We live close to the hospital, but she'll be heading back to sister's place, which is close to her preschool, tomorrow night. Kate wants her to have as much normalcy as feasible. I'm still worried, but the doctors are great and seem to have it under control. Baby update. It's a boy. I don't know if anyone still cares, but Kate safely delivered a perfectly healthy little boy on Thursday and is now back home. Her sisters were by her side and it all went fairly quickly after she was induced. Bert is still MIA. Last we heard he was in Alaska with his brother. Kate's lawyer has been managing communications to keep the evidence trail as pristine as possible. He has been served, but of course these things take time. The little one asks about her dad every single day and it breaks my heart, but I guess there's no help for that. We are following the therapist's advice, and legal advice, on that subject. I think it will get easier now her mom is finally home. On the home front, Kate is thrilled to be out of the hospital. We have all huddled up for a plan to help her over the next few months while she recovers. I'm on duty today, but everyone is currently napping so it's quiet and peaceful. She asked for tacos, so Tim is making a taco run for lunch in an hour or so. I probably won't update again, but I did want folks to know she and her son made it through with flying colors. OP is not the AH. She and Tim were supportive friends when Bert was neglectful. Bert's behavior, ignoring his pregnant wife, cruel comments, and abandoning his child, was unacceptable. Tim's harsh words escalated things, but Bert deserved the criticism. So, OP and Tim are not AHs, and I would rate them 0 out of 5 on the AH scale. As for Bert, he is an AH, and I would rate him 3.5 out of 5 on the AH scale. Let's now jump on to the next story from after_coffee6704. Would I be an AH if I confront my mom about my brother's predatory behavior even though my younger sister doesn't want me to? I, 25F, have many siblings, but this is concerning my brother, 21, who will call D, and my sister, 16, who will call R. This will include my mom, my sister's friend, W, and my brother's friend, Q. I was driving my sister home last night when she dropped a bombshell on me. My brother has been stalking one IG. This apparently had been happening for a while, and both R and W thought D was the one responsible due to the username, which was obvious since it had his birthday in it and a part of his gamertag. However, D denied it. While out during the summer, R and W talked to my mom about the stalker and their speculations it could be D. My mom said she would talk to D, but spoiler alert, no talks ever occurred. In fact, my mom questioned why W was posting those kinds of pictures anyway. Which is not the point, and it honestly pissed me off that my mom would defend my brother like that. Around a month ago, D confessed, probably while high, to R and W that it was indeed him. This was conveniently after D stopped his stalking for a prolonged period of time, so W deleted most of the evidence she gathered, thinking it was over. Don't judge her too hard, she was naive. Now, W doesn't feel comfortable coming over, understandably so, and so does most of R's female friends. I told her that I would talk to Mom, but she begged me not to. I think her thinks that it won't lead anywhere, given my mom's response last time. The thing she forgets is that I despise that kind of crap, and will defend her and W against D. D has always been the golden child, even if my mom and he both deny it. It's obvious. My own therapist, my mom's family members, and even her friends also told her it was obvious. And I really feel the need to confront this because, as it turns out, this isn't the first time he's done this. He actually did it to his ex's younger sister, confirmed by Q when I told him about the situation, which I admit, was a little but hurt since she told Q before me. So, Reddit, AITA, if I confronted my mom about my brother's predatory behavior, even though my younger sister doesn't want me to? Update. Hello. It's been a bit since I posted this, so I just thought to give an update on my sister, W, and the whole situation with D. Just to recap, D is my brother, R is my sister, W is my sister's friend, and Q is my brother's best friend. So, I ended up convincing my sister to allow me to be by her side while we both confronted Mom about D's behavior. It started with me telling her we needed to talk, and that it was important. She sat down and R came out, and my mom looked a little taken aback. I told her I knew about D's troublesome behavior with W and that I was disappointed that she hadn't taken W and R seriously. She got defensive, saying she did talk to D and she watched as he deleted his account. I told her that no, D didn't delete it, he most likely just deactivated it and took the app off his home screen. Everybody knows my mom is pretty tech illiterate. She asked how we knew, and we told her W was still being harassed by the same account. I explained how deactivating works, and how D probably knew she didn't know the difference, and used that to show just how much he was trying to hide his behavior. That he knew he was guilty and was trying to get away with it again. It was mindless back and forth for around 10 minutes until D actually got home from work. Mom asked to see his phone, and D asked why. She said she just wanted to see something, but D wasn't having it, having saw both R and I at the table. Mom eventually caved and told him that she doesn't think she deleted the account, and D got defensive. I told him that his behavior could get him in trouble, a good tidbit of advice someone from the OG post gave me. That God forbid he talks to the wrong girl, or messes with the wrong person, that he could end up being jumped, jailed, or worse. D tried to brush me off, saying it wasn't anything. R told him that Q had confessed about his messages to his ex's sister, and that this behavior could lead him down a slippery slope. I then added that those messages reminded me of the grooming texts I received as a teen, and I wasn't accusing him, but looking out for him. It was messy in the house that afternoon, but by dinner, my brother chilled out. He told me he appreciated me for looking out for him, and that he would stop. I got a lot of slack from Q for using his confession against my brother, but we smoothed things over. I have since talked to W, I give her rides with her sometimes, and have told her that if D or anybody else starts pulling stuff like that again, to not hesitate to tell me. That I have her back and fully support her. She comes from a pretty rough house, with a complicated issue that would make this post too specific and lead to the whole situation being found out. But W is doing good, D has quit his behavior, but only time will tell if he sticks to it, and R was thankful I took it seriously. Kind of anticlimactic, there was no big blow-up or drama involving law enforcement. But that's pretty normal for our house. We fight one evening and are playing video games the next. If anything else happens regarding this, though, I'll update again. Thank you all for the support. OP is not the AH. She prioritized protecting her sister and W from D's predatory behavior, held her mother accountable, and warned D about potential consequences. Though R hesitated, OP acted responsibly to prevent further harm. D's actions needed confrontation. What do the Mac Reddit fans think? Is the OP an AH or not? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like the stories I brought you, just hit the like button, share them as much as you can, and don't forget to subscribe to Mac Reddit for a daily dose. Bye bye, see you tomorrow with some more spicy fries.